Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show. We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth
and sell it on the internet really fast.
I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWitt. We are Jack and Jill, and this is the Jack and Jill Show, too.
With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property.
Of all kinds, not just land.
For half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get this show started.
Jack Butala with Jill DeWitt.
Hello.
Welcome to our show. In this episode, Jill and I talk about our Monday deal review. We're taking a look at a big deal in New Mexico and thought we'd share some of the details and our thoughts on it. Great show today, Jill. Let's take a question posted by one of our members on successplant.com, our free online community.
Okay. Kyria asked, I have a couple of questions. I ordered the package a week ago, and I'm anxiously awaiting delivery. Meanwhile, I posted 2 Craigslist ads per Jack's instructions on the free ebook. Now, a couple of hours later, I love this. I've had 2 phone calls. This is so good. One is a guy that has 13 acres to sell. Since I haven't yet received my DVDs, what do I tell him? What is my buying criteria? The other is from a lady who thought I was selling land. This is good. She was calling on behalf of her dad, so I'll reach out to him and put him on my buyer's list if he wants, which brings me to my next question. How do I keep track of all the information I will be getting? Buyers, sellers, etc. Do I use Insightly? Or I do use Insightly, but I need more than just that. Do I just use spreadsheets? Does anyone have a free system to organize all this stuff? Thanks in advance.
You're a pro at this as a career salesperson, Jill. Can you talk to us briefly about the value of a CRM and how to organize taking calls and doing deals and stuff?
Well, that is Insightly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's a bunch of different ones. You know, it's so interesting. There's so many different ways of organizing your customers and managing all the inbound and outbound calls. I've come to the realization that I think that there's Insightly, there's Salesforce, there's new stuff coming out with Microsoft. I can't remember what their thing is. I mean, there's so many, and I'm into that.
Soft Dynamics.
That buy one I'm into now. I'm going to start using, there's so much there.
Power BI.
Yeah, that's it. There's so many things out there. You know what, Kyria? I would not use a spreadsheet at the end of the day. If you're just starting out, it's okay to get your thoughts together and have some spreadsheets for buyers and sellers and things like that. I'm good with that as a beginning. But once you get rolling here, that's going to be a mess, and you're going to need to have that input into something else. So don't get too there. Figure out which one works best for you, and you're going to have to develop your own system. I mean, I thought that there was one end-all be-all for our product type, to be honest with you, and I found out there isn't.
Well, there is.
Well,
it's the one we use.
Well, what I like and what other people like, though, are sometimes different things. So, I mean, that's okay. For just managing the customers. And the best thing I say is that's one of the things I love about Success Plant is all the ongoing discussions about this and what so-and-so's using and why they like it and all that good stuff and all the different things. Jack?
Yeah, so the important thing to remember, and this is a fantastic question, it's one we get a lot on our weekly call, especially from new people. The thing to know about CRMs, nearly all of them, is that whatever you input in there, let's say you start inputting, you have these 2 people, you put them in there, now you're 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, and you outgrow it, which happens all the time. You can download all that data. They're transferable. Mm-hmm. Download all that data and put it back into the new one that you use. So most CRMs are industry specific, and I had one developed about 8 years ago, custom one developed that we use on a server, and we're in the process of web enabling it. That's custom to our business. You kick in, it goes from the mailer piece, you send out a letter, all the way to when you buy the property and everything in between. When you close on the property and it gets posted on a website. It's very, very, very cool. Everybody's been asking us about this because we talk about it on the show and on the calls. So I'm having it web enabled right now, and it'll be part of our program.
That's the end. It's true.
Do not wait for us. I would seriously travel down the Insightly path. Mm-hmm. There's some in between programs like Podio and Act and a bunch of other programs and Salesforce that really are a Band-Aid. You need.
They're all a Band-Aid. It's like it's hard to manage the customers in one site, and it's hard to manage the transactions and then merge them too.
Yeah.
And that's why we've had to do our own stuff.
And it's, and we will make that available. Mm-hmm. I'm actually pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Because what I use Salesforce for, which is really interesting, is I don't use Salesforce for the land company. I use our other product.
Yeah, exactly. So Jill, for whatever reason, is she's very well versed in Salesforce. So just because I didn't want to argue about it with her, frankly, it was a battle that I lost.
You picked it. You picked it. That's what's so funny. Yeah,
she uses Salesforce
that now, but he's the one that picked it
on the way inbound. But once we decide, hey, we're going to buy a piece of property, whether it's on the inbound, buy it or sell it on the end, then it gets into our system. So there's a little bit of, that's what we're doing new modules on the whole thing. By the time it's done, and please don't wait for it because it won't be next week. That's for sure. It's going to be cool.
My main thing is, Kyria, whatever you go with, I'm glad that you're thinking about this now.
Me
and
too.
you want to be organized.
That's right, Jill.
You know how many people...
That's the takeaway from
Do you know what's so funny? This is...
Pieces of paper.
Right? And I know it still happens. I know that there are people out there that have 1,000 sticky notes all over their desks. Like, oh, wait a minute. If I could just find that one sticky note with this seller and I could put it with this sticky note with this buyer, there's a transaction right there.
Right.
That's not how you do it. So I'm glad, even if you're just taping it together with Insightly right now and it's kind of working,
it's better than
that's better than sticky notes and a spreadsheet. You're okay. And we're all going to get the perfect solution here together really, really soon. Yeah. Good question.
Today's topic, Monday deal review. On Mondays, Jill and I talk about some of the deals that we're doing. We, for whatever reason, are getting a lot of acreage properties in New Mexico. And one thing that I've learned over the years is that acreage properties in certain states versus acreage properties in other states are way more valuable or less valuable, as the case may be. And it all ties back to pure supply and demand. For some reason, these are real examples. Finding large acreage properties in Nevada and in northern, let's say Utah, and in some cases Arizona, they're not as in high demand as, let's say, acreage in New Mexico. And every acreage property that I've ever purchased in New Mexico is sold probably before I even close a deal. And we are looking at tons of properties. Some of them are extremely large acreage properties that we are considering subdividing. Some of them are, 5 acres to 8 acres. Is very, very valuable. There's ranchers. Now, Mexico has a much different culture. Mexico, honestly, is one of the most overlooked, beautiful places I've ever been. And no one just thinks about it for some reason. They think about Arizona and California and the whole thing, but Mexico is beautiful. It snows there. You get all seasons. It's kind of deserty, too. They get all the benefit from that. Rio Grande goes right through the middle of the damn state. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. I love it. So Jill's had some really extremely good experiences with acreage deals right outside of the Albuquerque area and north too. And the further north you go, you get 40 acres in northern Arizona, and you buy it on the way we do it for $3,000 or $4,000. Boy, you're going to sell for 20 or 30 or 40 grand cash.
You know what else makes a difference to me too is the ease of transferability and how the county works and how everybody's all synced together. And we've done so many properties that. Some with HOAs, some without HOAs, and everybody works really well together. It makes a difference. Versus if I'm working on a property in a back east, it seems like a lot of back east properties. It's very, very formal, hard to get. There's a really strict checklist of things you've got to do, and not everybody's on the same page.
I call it area code discrimination.
Maybe.
Like they see our 480, 602.
Oh, that could be.
818. They see that and they're like, oh, these people they're on the West Coast. They're having
these hippies.
These
hippies want to do this.
They can't be serious about anything.
Exactly.
We're back here doing all the work, and they're horsing.
We're holding up the country with what we're doing, and they're out there goofing off.
Really, Matilda? Really, Matilda in Ohio? Are you doing that much more work than me? I don't think so. Right.
That is so funny, but it's true. I guess it's good to talk about. So yeah. So do you have a deal, a particular deal you want to share anything on?
Yeah, there's a property. Okay. There's a guy I'm talking to in in New Mexico. And a county in New Mexico has got, 22 40-acre properties, I think. They're all connected. He subdivided them a long time ago. The whole thing checks out. You check, it makes the owner, the whole thing. It all checks out perfectly. We've agreed on a price at $100 an acre. And, we will sell that. I know exactly who's going to buy it. Exactly. The whole deal for probably $200 to $250 an acre. So we'll double our money. When you add it all up, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, then I know this person, they will sell it on terms. We'll wholesale to them. They'll sell it on terms and sell it for $20,000 and $30,000 and $40,000, $200 a month at a time. So yeah,
everybody wins.
If that exact deal was in Nevada or Utah, northern Utah, we would buy it for $2,000 to $3,000 and sell it for cash for probably $6,000. Hopefully, double our money. Maybe not so much. But my whole point in this is that acreage and prices are different all over the country, and cultures are different. That's it.
That's fun. I'm glad that we're talking about this because this does come up a lot in our weekly calls. People think, do I offer the same thing for everywhere? No. Yeah, you really don't. So take a step back and make sure your offer is in line with the area. Some might be some might be less than $100 an acre that you can safely offer, and some are going to be $500 an acre, and you're still way under.
Yeah, where do you think it's less than 100?
I've had them.
West Texas, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I'm not talking about you. You regularly do that, but I don't think.
Oh, what general areas?
I don't think I have never sent out a mailer for less than 100 an acre.
Right.
Ever.
But we have negotiated that.
Right.
Later on when they call back.
Right.
Yes.
This is the technical 2 minutes of property investment advice from our 15-year, 15,000 transaction experience. Not all states are created equally. Prices are different from state to state. You really have to spend the more time you spend up front analyzing pricing properties on the way out when you're sending out offers, the higher your return is going to be. I know it makes your brain hurt. Like, what is he talking about? I don't know anything about data. It's really, truly not that hard. There's 4 or 5 or 6, maybe 7 steps total. And you send yourself out a great mailer. $100 an acre gets thrown around a lot out west here. And certain places it works great, but certain places it just won't work at all. So you really got to analyze the data, choose the right people to send it to. That's the whole beautiful beauty to our product, data to doorstep. It's all the tools to help you do that.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because I hear that with some of our new members, and it's not that it's not that you still can't do this on a Sunday afternoon. Just as you're analyzing your data, please plan an extra 30 minutes to spend a little bit of time looking around online at comparable properties and what they're priced at before you do your merge and have your offer price in there. You might be dead on, you might not be, but just get a little bit of an extra feel.
Here's what Jill means. 5 acres in northern Arizona probably sells for $3,000 or $4,000, which means you should be offering less than $1,000 per acre or per property. In Michigan, way different situation. It sells for a lot more than that, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, maybe $20,000, which means you should offer more than you should offer about 25%-ish of what the lowest comparable listed price is. So if it's selling for $3,000, $4,000, you offer $1,000. If it's selling for $10,000, you offer $2,500. And this is a gauge. This has been my experience. I can only tell you what works for us.
I was going to, and if you're not sure why Jack and I are using that lowest price comparable property out there, that we're as our, whatever checklist, our gauge is because I want to be able to double my money and be under that. That is how I know my property is going to sell the fastest.
You want your property that's posted all over the internet to be the cheapest one. So when people sort for price, you come up first. And then you want to pay, when you buy that property, half of what that number is. It ends up being 25% or 1/4.
Yep. You almost want people to question it going, wait a minute, why is this so cheap?
Yeah.
And it comes up a lot.
Yep.
It does come up a lot.
What's wrong with the property?
Yeah. Why is this so cheap?
Nothing.
Just how I buy it. If you don't like it, move on. Oh, hold on a moment. That's not what I said. All right, then.
If you keep talking, the price is going to go up.
Yeah, I can mark it up.
I have a real story
We've
about
had that. Shucks. Remember, we've had members on the call say that. Like, they said, okay, fine, then I'll mark it up. Does that make you feel better? Well, no.
If you have 10 more sentences in you, the price can go up.
Yeah, exactly. I told the guy that, it's funny. I did have that even just recently. One of the ones that the guy just checked out was a different guy, but we were talking about it and he was almost like, so I looked around and I found it. And I said, you know what? You're right. Yeah. I think this is priced wrong. He's like, seriously. And so I'm totally serious.
That's awesome.
I did. I'm like, you know what? Thank you for bringing that to my attention because you're probably right. I think I am priced too low. So you're either going to take it now at this price or we're going to hang up and you're going to watch us in a week and it's going to be priced differently.
It's the longest technical
I'm totally serious. I've done that. It's hilarious.
If you have any questions or you want to be in the show, call 800-725-8816. Inspiration by Jill.
I'll make it short. Don't
make it. This is the best part of the show.
Oh, it's okay. Don't let your business run your life. Make sure you have your priorities in the right order. I want to make sure that, because it's easy, trust me, it is easy to get all fired up about something like what we're doing. It's super easy. One good transaction, you're like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to just forget it. I'm not even going to show up to work now. Hold on. Don't do that yet.
That sounds like a blast though.
Right? People do that. They're like, oh, well then I'm done.
I'm guilty of that. Mm-hmm.
So don't get ahead of yourself there and don't let it run your life. Make sure that you're because you'll get burnout. You don't want to because you'll make bad decisions and you'll get burnout. That's my thing, and I don't want that to happen. What? You just give me a look.
No, it just reminds me of.
What was that look?
My grandmother used to have a saying.
Uh-oh.
She would say because it was all boys and one girl. Like, her grandchildren. It was like 9 or 10 boys and one girl. So she would always say to us, "Don't let these girls choose you. You choose these girls."
What?
Yeah. Like when you get a girlfriend, you make sure you choose that girl. She doesn't choose you. I don't know why that mattered to her, but I heard her say it 1,000 times.
I have never heard that.
So don't let your business run you, Jill says. You run the business.
That's right. That's hilarious. So, that's a whole nother topic about the girl thing. I want to talk about that one more on another show.
So, I mean, it's the same thing with girls though. They should say the boy doesn't choose me, I choose the boy. It's a person thing. It's not a gender thing.
It's true.
And that's what she meant. If it was all girls, she would have said the same thing.
Would she?
I think so. She had a big wooden, God love her. She had a wooden spoon, big thick wooden spoon. I think it was 170 years old. She was an Italian, first generation Italian.
It was like a passed down generation spoon?
I think it was a weapon, This is all boys, Jill.
She would stand there and threaten you with a spoon?
She had to hit us once in a while. One of us in particular, not me.
I'm sorry.
No, don't.
Let's
it's
just
fine.
bring up something.
No,
so
heck
sorry.
no. Well, she didn't kill us with it. She just, boys are animals.
Jack's therapy session with Jill.
Boys get together. It's just
made me cry.
Gang mentality sets in. She has to use a spoon once in a while.
Jill's inspiration turned into a wooden spoon therapy session.
And here's another thing. I'll take the spoon over her telling my grandfather that we're behaving that way any day. And she knew that too.
Oh, got it. Well, just like Jack's grandma and the wooden spoon, don't let that wooden spoon or your business run your life.
Join us in another episode where I'm sure I'm not going to bring up my grandparents and discuss how we use information. That's me.
And inspiration. I always try to bring it back in. That's me.
To get just about anything you want.
We use it every day to buy property, not just in New Mexico, but all over for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
What? And the grandma and the wooden spoon? I'm sorry, did I bring up something bad?
No, I love
Actually,
that she
you
had
brought
that
it up
wooden
now that I
spoon.
think about it. It's kind of weird.
It's not about the wooden spoon. It was about don't let these girls choose you. It was just her advice.
It's very interesting.
I was just talking to the spoon. I just had an image of the spoon. It's fine. It's not a bad thing.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Did you through all your life and all your choices, and women always follow that advice.
I did.
Did you now?
I would think with you it was mutual, though. I really think we had a mutual. It was very.
It was a mind connection. It was something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, good.
I had a girl one time. Listen to this. She actually introduced me to another girl because she liked me. The introducer liked me, and it was a test. She's like, I like this guy a lot. I don't think he's paying attention to me. I want to introduce this guy to this
how'd that go?
super good-looking whatever. It backfired on her.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. That's funny. Do you know what's one? Here's something really funny. I probably shouldn't share this, but I am now. I know that for myself that I did the choosing in every one of my situations because I only replied yes after multiple requests. You know what I mean? I know that.
You replied yes on were all your men from the internet?
No.
So you set yourself up for that.
I did. That's not what I'm trying to say. Every relationship I've been in, I held off and wasn't sure I wanted to be in a relationship until the person kept saying, we need to be in a relationship. This needs to be this, and we need to do this, we need this. And I would say, no. And then I'd finally go,
that is not how to get a girl.
Okay. Well, it did work eventually. Well, no, not every time. That's true. Because half the time they're like, we should do this. And I'm like, yeah, no, we shouldn't.
If you are being worn down, I don't care your gender, worn down by somebody, they're trying to wear you out or filibuster you into something, run.
Didn't say that.
If you have somebody who's trying to sweep you off your feet and tell you you're beautiful and buy you flowers and take you to Paris and stuff, keep that person.
Right.
That's how you get a girl and a guy, regardless of gender. Who cares about any of that stuff? And mean it, though. Don't just try to do it to get something. I mean, if you're 22, you can't help that. But if you're out of that whole scenario, just be nice and honest and all of it. Not that I've ever done that. Jill just left the room. Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.
We are Jack and Jill, and this was the Cash Flow from Land Show.
We are the experts at acquiring property
of all kinds, not just land,
for half price, just so we can flip it for way more.
And really fast. Thanks for listening.
Let's go buy some property. If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
LandAcademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.